lost to number 2 Indiana, number 3 North Carolina, and number 4 Iowa. Purdue's ranked 6 and 7. Is that going to have an effect? Here again is a team that is among the top 4, the Iowa Hawkeyes, the team they lost to.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about Purdue needs to feel like they can win the big ball game, especially with the tournament coming up. So I think they're pointing towards that, saying they would like to be able to win this game, or maybe a game later on in the season, just to prove that they can beat a top 5 team. They haven't been able to do it yet, not necessarily because they're not good enough. They've just not played the kind of basketball that they needed to.
So we're just a minute or so away from the tip-off of this, or at least the starting lineups, and we'll be back to check on the starting lineups for tonight's game between Iowa and Purdue in just a moment.
You're nothing but a fat, lazy cat.
I still hang out with a fat, lazy cat.
He never has appreciated my fine company.
Jim Davis, another Indiana legend.
2 Indiana legends.
Brought to you with pride by Farm Bureau Insurance.
The Iowa Hawkeyes lost their first game after winning 18 in a row right here on this court a couple of weeks ago when they were beaten by Ohio State. At that time, the Iowa Hawkeyes had a shot at being number 1. In fact, they probably were number 1 in the country, but they were beaten by Iowa. Subsequently, they have lost to Michigan there. The Boilermakers have lost at home to Iowa and lost to Indiana at Indiana. Now it's time for the starting lineups for tonight's game. Let's go to the public address announcer, and here is Bob Holzhammer to check on the starting lineups for the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Purdue Boilermakers.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Carver-Hawkeye Arena, the home of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Here are the starting lineups for tonight's Big Ten game between the Boilermakers from Purdue and the University of Iowa Hawkeyes. At 1 forward for Purdue, a 6'5" senior from Washington, Illinois, number 20, Doug Lee. At forward for the Hawkeyes, a 7-foot senior from Glendale, Arizona, number 54, Brad Lohaus. At the other forward for the Boilermakers, a 6'7" junior from Toledo, Ohio, number 33, Todd Mitchell. The other forward for the Hawks, a 6'5" sophomore from Flint, Michigan, number 23, Roy Marble. And the centers for Purdue, a 6'9" sophomore from Chicago, Illinois, number 35, Melvin McCants. For the Iowa Hawkeyes, a 6'8" sophomore from Springfield, Illinois, number 25, Ed Horton. And the guards for the Boilermakers, a 6'2" junior from Evanston, Illinois, number 21, Everett Stevens. For the Hawks at guard, a 6'4" junior from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 20, Jeff Moe. The other guard for Purdue, a 6'4" junior from Anderson, Indiana, number 23, Troy Lewis. And for the Iowa Hawkeyes, a 6'2" sophomore from Detroit, Michigan, number 10, B.J. Armstrong. The head coach for the Purdue Boilermakers, Gene Cady. And for the Iowa Hawkeyes, head coach Tom Davis.
So the stage is set for this battle between Purdue and Iowa. Iowa coming in shooting nearly 52% from the field. The Boilermakers shooting nearly 51%. Defensively, the Iowa Hawkeyes have been holding the opposition to just over 43%. The Boilermakers have been holding the opposition 44%. Offensively, Iowa is averaging 88-plus points a game, Purdue 83. Defensively, Iowa's been giving up nearly 73. The Boilermakers have been holding the opposition to 68. On paper, pretty well matched, Bob.
It is a good matchup, Joe. I think maybe Iowa's a little deeper than is Purdue, although the Purdue bench has been playing well of late. I think it's critical that Purdue gets started well in this ball game and not dig themselves a hole of 8, 10, 12 points. The Hawkeyes are a team that build on a momentum of offensive flair, and they will come down the court, and their defense will key off of that offense. If they hit a good shot or get a stop or do something fantastic on the offensive end, that defense gets tougher and tougher and tougher, and Purdue does not want to see that press really enter into the ball game if they can help it.
Looking down here at the figures, Iowa has taken 596 free throws. The opposition has taken 205 less. They're the officials, Rich Weiler, Ted Hillary, Phil Robinson, and they'll be whistling those fouls, and let's hope that it's an even match here at least tonight.
I tell you what, the Hawkeyes like to go to the backboard, Joe, and that'll be a critical thing for Purdue, is not letting those big guys on the inside jump on the backs of the Boilermakers, and Purdue will have to really do a good job of blocking out and get them away from the basket. They can't let the Hawkeyes push them down inside.
Horton at 6'8", jumping for the Hawkeyes. Todd Mitchell at 6'7" for the Boilermakers. Horton averages 9-1, Mitchell 16-2. We'll check the offensive averages of the players as we go by. The ball is controlled by the Boilermakers, and Everett Stevens has it. He's averaging 11-4, all the Boilermakers in double figures. Lee at 10, Lewis at 19, Mitchell at 16-2, McCants at 12-1. Here is Lewis going to Lee. Nothing inside yet. Everett Stevens drives, short jumper, good. Stevens gives the Boilermakers a 2-0 lead. Here come the Hawks, and they like to push it up rapidly. B.J. Armstrong averaging 12-3. Here is Marble underneath, turns around, can't get it. McCants rebounds, and the Boilermakers have a shot at going up 4-0. The Hawks playing man-to-man. Here's McCants turning, getting away on Horton, and goes through, and the Boilermakers lead by a score of 4-0.
Purdue has not been lax in terms of thinking about their offensive moves. Both shots have been good shots, and they've taken them quickly out of the offense.
Oh, number 20 is out of Indianapolis for Buff, averaging 11 points. B.J. Armstrong, 12-3, goes down low. Lowhouse is 11-5. That is he with the ball. The ball is away from Marble. He goes after it. He leads the team in scoring at 14-1. They have pretty balanced scoring. The Boilermakers playing in the man-to-man. Moe can't get through there, bounces it low. Here is Horton with the ball, comes, fires it up there, good! Horton made a nice cut. It's 4-2 in favor of Purdue.
You can see why you can't let the Hawkeyes get the ball down low. They're very powerful and very strong, as Horton that time just powered the ball inside.
Boilermakers get it down to McCants, and now they will set it up. Purdue with a record of 18-3 overall, ranked 6 in one poll and 7 another. Hawkeyes number 4. Here's Mitchell from long range. It's off the mark. Battle for it. Lee tips it. McCants goes and gets it and scores his second basket. And the Boilermakers lead by 4, 6-2.
McCants is due for a real great basketball game. They've been waiting for him to catch fire all year long, and so far he looks good tonight.
Armstrong has used up the dribble, and now a foul on Troy Lewis. His first. That's the first foul in the game, and we play 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
Been a cleanly played ball game. Both teams moving their feet well on defense. That time Lewis got a little behind, tried to reach over the shoulder, committed the foul. There's no question on it.
You'll recall that Roy Marble suffered a scratched cornea early in the game on January 19th. Didn't play the last 32 minutes. This is Horton looking for his second basket. Power move. Can't get it. Mitchell tries to hold the rebound. It goes off his fingertips. It'll be out of bounds to Iowa.
Mitchell at 6'7", going against the 7-footer in Lowhouse, and a lot of times you use so much of your body strength to keep them out of the way that you can't control the ball, and that's what happened to Todd that time.
B.J. Armstrong takes the long one. It's a three-pointer. And it is 6-5. The Hawkeyes shoot 35% from three-point range, 94 out of 268, and Armstrong has hit 17 out of 34 for 50%.
You could see just how difficult that defense got right after getting the three-point play. They really play tough defense after they score a basket.
Troy Lewis drills it in. Lewis a two-pointer, and the Boilermakers have a three-point lead. It's 8-5. Here's B.J. Armstrong in the dribble. Down to Moe, looks inside. And he shuffled the feet, and there's the first turnover of tonight's game. Remember, the Hawks had 30 in that first game, but the Boilermakers weren't able to take advantage of it because they were shooting from the outside, and they were 4 of 17 in that game.
Purdue has really done a good job of keeping the Hawkeyes flat in the early going. Their defense has been good. They have not allowed the Hawkeyes to force a turnover yet.
Here is Lewis getting to the 15-foot mark, out to Stevens. Goes low. Mitchell wanted to shoot, didn't get set good enough. Mitchell back there. He'll take this one from 19. It's short, and it's rebounded by Lohas.
Boy, a big battle inside between Horton and McCants. McCants took a big elbow after he gave Horton a shove.
In low, it goes to Marble. It's stripped away from him and pulled away, and the Boilermakers get it as Stevens comes on the drive. One-on-one. Stevens palmed the ball. He tried to figure out what he was going to do and carried the ball. And we have 16:37 to play, and there's the first turnover for Purdue, and that was costly. That was a sure basket, probably.
Well, it looked like that Stevens was going to be able to get that ball right down in the scoring area. But about 28 feet out, he got in a little bit of trouble and didn't know what to do with it. Jerry Wright, and you see that left hand heavily taped still from that broken bone early, comes into the lineup. Number 3, he replaces Lohas.
He averages 5.5.
Now, Lohas is still in the ball game, so I think it was Horton that went to the bench.
And the Boilermakers make a substitution. Here is Kip Jones, number 30, 6'8" sophomore. He got only 3 points against the Hawkeyes in that initial game, and Mitchell goes out.
I think Coach Katie might want to talk to Todd a little bit, get his play back down inside. He's gone very perimeter early in the ball game, and he needs to play down deep.
Boilermakers lead by 3. It's 8-5. B.J. Armstrong on the dribble. He goes by McCants, goes low underneath there to White. White had it knocked away. We get a foul, and it'll be on Melvin McCants. That's the first on Melvin. That's 2 on Purdue.
I think Mel's got to be very careful of his reactions after a foul. He went inside and wildly slapped that ball away, and I'm sure that he did make contact, and his reaction to the call is going to cause him some trouble later in the ball game. The officials don't like to see that happen.
Harry Wright is a 50% free throw shooter, 10 out of 20, and does not get the first one to fall tonight. It's 8-5 Purdue, 16:26 to play. We're in the first half. Wright out of San Bernardino, California. The senior fires it up there. It's good. I know Stevens wound up on the floor.
Well, he was leaning on the play there, Joe, and didn't know what to do, and he fell right down. We got a timeout for Purdue. They couldn't get the ball in quickly enough.
And so the timeout comes with 16:26 to play in the first half. You're watching Purdue basketball on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. Purdue is ahead of Iowa, 8-6.
I really like living in Indiana. I like the weather, the people. It's home. And I like doing business at home. That's why I've got Farm Bureau Auto Insurance. I get good coverage, fast claim service, and I'm even saving a few dollars. Yes, sir, it makes me feel real good knowing the money I'm spending for the things I need is staying right here at home.
Buying a car is no game, but some make it a tough contest. Rod Burt wants you to win and enjoy your next car. The moves are easy. You can go right with Buick, up the middle with Olds, or strong left with Pontiac. It's easy to score at Rod Burt.
With Bob Ford, this is Joe Pate. We're back in Iowa City. The Boilermakers lead the Iowa Hawkeyes 8-6. Purdue's starting front line, Mitchell, McCants, and Lee, averages 38.3 points a game, but they got only 27 against Iowa in that first game. That's an indication of what Coach Katie was trying to overcome. Pressure on the inbounds play, and it comes in to McCants, and Stevens comes streaking down the court. He had it rejected a little bit. The ball is loose. McCants got it. Throws it outside to Lee.
Very difficult to go down inside. They are great leapers, this Iowa bunch, and that time it was found out by Purdue.
Lee lost the ball, and it'll be Hawkeyes throwing it up, and it'll be out of bounds to the Purdue Boilermakers. So each team threw it away there.
That kind of play can't do anything but help the Hawkeyes. You hear the crowd now get involved because they're their team did something good on the defensive end of the court and got things in a razzmatazz mode, and Purdue doesn't necessarily want to play that much up-tempo.
We played 4 minutes of this one now. Purdue leads by 2.
Hawkeyes using a zone now. They're in their matchup. Boilermakers with a 2-man front, and so the Hawks match that. Now they go back into a 1-3-1 format.
Trying to find something open in the middle, and there's nothing there. 4.5 minutes gone by. Lee, long range, won't go. Battle for it, taken off by Lewis, and he triggers it outside. 45 seconds more on the shot clock.
Been one of the things good about Purdue is the rebounding.
Here's a rejection, goaltending, and McCants gets the basket. He has 6, and the Boilermakers lead by 4. It's 10-6.
Al Lorenzen into the lineup for the first time, number 44 for the Hawkeyes as Lohaus goes out. And you can see what happens when you get that ball back off the backboard. It immediately gives you a little more momentum, and a quick pass inside got McCants a great shot.
Lorenzen, 6'9" junior, averaging 3.7. This is B.J. Armstrong. He scored 1 3-pointer, right with the ball. Throws it inside, deflected away, and it comes off the board, and Everett Stevens comes down, lays it off to Troy Lewis. And Stevens wanted to shoot from out there, throws it to Mitchell through his hands, but he saved it. Now out to Troy Lewis. And the Boilermakers are not taking those wide shots. They're following the instructions at the moment.
They're trying to get the ball inside. This zone has given them a bit of a problem. They're not moving the ball as quickly as they need to.
Everett Stevens, 3, drills in his second basket of the night, and the Boilermakers lead by 7. And the ball is deflected away by Everett Stevens on good hustle. Here's a substitution for Iowa. In fact, 2 of them. Jeff Moe, 20, back in, and number 25, Ed Horton, back in.
I think the Hawkeyes are looking for a combination that will click. They haven't been able to do that, as Tony Jones will check in now for the Boilermakers, replacing Everett Stevens. Just haven't been able to find a combination of players that can make the thing work on both ends. Had some good defensive play, but offensively they haven't been playing very smart.
Each team has had 1 3-pointer. Now Jeff Arnold is going to come in, and Melvin McCants with 3 baskets is going to get a breather. The Iowa Hawkeyes use a lot of people, so you got to make sure that your people stay pretty fresh there too. Moe with the ball, gets into the lane. He'll throw it up there, and it'll roll off. And the ball is going to be pulled down by Horton, and he goes through, and it'll be a jump ball, and the ball belongs to Iowa on the alternating possession rule.
Good job by Arnold. Just stood very quiet in the middle of the lane with his arms straight up in the air. And he takes up so much space that when they tried to take the ball up, they got it caught on his chest. But they get it back on the alternating possession.
Lorenzen trying to get it in and does to Moe. Moe gets out, lays it up. What a great move. That was a nice one.
One thing that Jeff Moe does very well, he penetrates, and that 2 times in a row he was able to get down inside. One of them fell.
Troy Lewis from 19. He got it. His second basket of the night, and the Boilermakers lead by 7 for a second time, 15-8. Reeves checked in a while ago, comes down, and an offensive foul on Reeves. That's his first. That is the first on the Iowa Hawkeyes. That's the 4th turnover unofficially.
I think Reeves was very surprised to see Doug Lee standing there. He got around his Boilermaker defensive player and around the Hawkeye, and then all of a sudden there was Lee, and he had nowhere to go.
Well, I tell you, Iowa's already used a number of players. Purdue having trouble, and they run the ball. Trying to move it inbounds. Lee runs with it, and that's the 3rd turnover for Purdue, and 4 for Iowa.
That's happened a couple of times to Doug, and he shakes his head, says, yes, I forgot. You can only run after a basket.
So here is Moe with his second straight basket. And it is now 15-10, and the pressure on the inbounds court. Mitchell gets it, throws it to Lewis. Lewis comes all the way down, lays it up there, and scores! Lewis has 6 points, and the Boilermakers lead by 7.
Ohio State was very successful running against this Iowa press, and you see the Boilermakers have been able to get that ball right into the middle and do the same thing.
We played a little more than 6 minutes in this one. Boilermakers in a zone. They go low. Horton turns, throws it up there. It bounces off, and Arnold knocks it away. Substitution number 10, B.J. Armstrong back in for the Hawks, as well as number 54, Brad Lohaus. Going out was Reeves and Lorenzen.
They almost need a computerized scorecard to keep up with the number of players in the ball game, as Tom Davis keeps them rotating all the time.
Here is Lohaus throwing it in, and powering underneath and scoring for the Iowa Hawkeyes is Roy Marble, his first basket. 5-point lead for Purdue, 17-12. Comes down to Mitchell quickly. Mitchell goes to the baseline, sends it back outside to Tony Jones. The zone again for the Boilermakers, or against the Boilermakers. 13-13 to play in the half. Lee goes to Lewis. Arnold is the big man underneath. They go to him. He puts it up there, and it is good. Arnold's first attempt of the night. Got the roll. Purdue by 7, 19-12. Or Hawkeyes get it up quickly.
They get it down very, very quickly on the transition. You have to really be ready, and they like to penetrate off of that.
Marble had it deflected out of bounds. He took the shot, then knocked it out of bounds, I think. Now we're going to have a substitution, and coming back into the lineup is Everett Stevens, and going out is Troy Lewis. That time, Arnold did a little intimidating on himself down at the defensive board.
I think Purdue has done some intimidation, as you mentioned, defensively. They've been very, very strong inside. They haven't given the Hawkeyes anything.
On pass down here to Mitchell. Mitchell hasn't scored yet. Now we got a pushing violation, and it'll be on Horton. Ed Horton's first foul, and that'll be the second of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Each team has been whistled for 2, and guess what? The Hawkeyes make another substitution. Gary Wright, 6'7" senior from San Bernardino, is back into the lineup.
Well, it's been very physical inside, especially at the center position. Those guys are banging unbelievably. That time Horton got caught.
Purdue's basketball underneath the Boilermaker basket. It'll come stolen on the inbounds play by Roy Marble. Each team has 4 turnovers. They come quickly down to Moe. Moe with the basketball, gives it out to Lohaus. He throws for long range. 3 points. Lohaus. And it is 19-15.
Well, that blows just about every kind of defensive mode you use. You think a 7-footer is not going to shoot the ball from way out there. Lohaus is a good shooter, and he'll take the 3-pointer if he's open.
Everett Stevens on the dribble. Moe is on him. Tony Jones goes to Lee, back to Tony. Everett Stevens outside. Boilermakers have 3 starters in there and 2 reserves at the moment. Tony Jones and Arnold. That's Arnold with it. Out to Jones. Jones' shot is no good. Battle for the rebound. Pulled down there by the Hawks. Pulled down by Marble. Armstrong brings it up quickly. Double clutches. Gets inside and over the back. Wait a minute, we got a foul on the Hawkeyes. I thought it was going to be on Tony Jones, but it is on B.J. Armstrong.
Armstrong came down inside and ran into Todd Mitchell. Let's see if Tony Jones made some contact out on the floor. It's going to be hard to see from this angle. Everett Stevens is in the way. There's Jones on the back. Doesn't look like there's any contact. And Mitchell was standing in perfect position and picked up the foul.
With 12 minutes to play, we have a timeout here in the first half. You're watching Purdue basketball on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. Purdue is ahead of Iowa, 19-15.
Everybody knows how to do that kick. Health kick. Yeah. Whoa. The goodness of milk is a real health kick. Health kick. Yeah, milk. You pour a glass of milk real tall. Getting calcium and vitamins and loving it all. Looking good. Well, come on, everybody. Milk's that kick. Health kick. Do that kick. Come on, everybody. Do that kick. America's favorite health kick.
Not a body shop. It's a chop shop where stolen cars are stripped of their parts. You can help deter auto thieves by supporting stricter licensing and titling laws, insisting on tougher jail sentences for car thieves, and by etching your vehicle identification number on the windshield of your car. Your Farm Bureau insurance agent can help. We gotta shut them down before they clean up.
Kevin Gamble scored 19 against Purdue, had a bruised thigh, which he suffered last Saturday in the Arizona game. And normally he's a starter, did not start tonight, played a little bit tonight. Another of their players, guard Bill Jones, a reserve, he was sidelined recently with a strained Achilles tendon. He saw a specialist yesterday, and don't know if we're going to be able to play here tonight or not.
Jones is a critical player for them, Joe, because he does play well. He plays fast and does a good job of coming off the bench. So that's a blow to them. We have seen Kevin Gamble. He's been in the lineup. It's not moving very well. He's doing all right. He's in there right now, number 35. He's guarding Troy Lewis. We'll see how he does.
Purdue's basketball, and it comes into Everett Stevens. That's Gamble on Stevens. The Boilermakers lead by 4. A little less than 12 minutes to play. And here's the zone, kind of a 3-2 at the moment. Troy Lewis is back in there, so the Boilermakers have their starters. Lee, Stevens, Lewis, Mitchell, and McCants back in. Lewis wanted to try the 3. Stevens tries from 19. He got it. Stevens is hot tonight. He has 7, and the Boilermakers lead by 6. It's 21-15. This is a very, very big game for both teams. Iowa's already lost one home game. That was to Ohio State, and somebody gets a knee in there. It's a hold, and it'll be on Everett Stevens. That'll be his first. It'll be the 3rd on the team. 3 also against Iowa. Nobody has more than 1 apiece on either team.
I think you could pick up a lot of offensive fouls against this team if you position them properly. The big people under the basket like to just duck their shoulder and go, as we saw Wright do that time, and Purdue just wasn't in the right position to pick up the foul.
Gary Wright looking inside. Lohaus is backing in on Mitchell. This is Marble with the ball. Lee's on him. Mitchell on Lohaus. Armstrong bounces it down low. This is Gamble. Back outside to Gary Wright. Armstrong. Gary Wright wanted to shoot. And now he will, and he couldn't get it. And there were 4 players around there, and we got a push underneath. The Boilermakers had 4 players underneath the basket, and Roy Marble was the lone Iowa Hawkeye, and he was charged with a foul. And that's his first, and that's 4 on the team. Great block out by Purdue.
Purdue's done a good job under there, Joe, in terms of blocking out. As you said, there just weren't any white shirts under there at all, and as Marble tried to get in position, he committed the foul.
Lewis got through and got the inbounds play. The Boilermakers have had trouble on most every occasion getting that ball inbounds there. Lee with it. Stevens will set it up. We're nearing the halfway point of the first half. 40 seconds away from the halfway point. Purdue by 6. Purdue's had a 7-point lead on 3 occasions. Purdue's never trailed so far. Here's a steal by Marble. Lays it off to B.J. Drives and scores. B.J. Armstrong has 5. It's 21-17. The Purdue passing has been a little suspect down at the offensive end a couple of times.
The Hawkeyes are quick enough that you just can't lob the ball at any particular point in the game. They recover so quickly, even if they're leaning in the wrong direction.
Lewis from 3. It's good. Lewis has 9 points tonight. And he gives Purdue a 24-17 spread now. On the other end, Marble missed. McCants rebounds. Purdue on the run. Lewis chases it down and throws it to Mitchell. He goes for the basket, and it's an offensive foul on Mitchell. His first, 4 on the team. So with 9:47 to play first half, Purdue leads 24-17. Substitution, Ed Horton comes back in.
Tough break for Todd Mitchell down low. He had a good position. Was a little concerned about the defense maybe going up and blocking the shot, so he tried to power it strong, and the defense stood still, and they drew the foul. Good call by the official.
7-point lead for the Boilermakers. Horton in the corner. Lohaus with the ball. Bounces it low. Horton sends it back outside. Moe from long range. He got it. It'll be 2 for Moe. He has 6. He leads the Hawkeyes. It's a 5-point lead, 24-19. Purdue had trouble again getting it inbounds.
Boilermakers seem to have more trouble when they get the ball in a stationary position than they do when they are able to run the length of the court.
Underneath, Lee can't get it. McCants goes for it, and a foul is going to be called on Lohaus. His first. That's 5 on the team, and McCants is going to go to the free throw line. Tony Jones is in, and Doug Lee goes out. Lee has not scored. Mitchell has not scored.
Good job of following again after the shot. Purdue did not do that very well in the first encounter. Here tonight, they've gone to the backboard very well. It'll be interesting at halftime to see what those stats look like, because Purdue has done a fine job on their offensive board.
Boilermakers going to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Hawks have been up there twice, made 1. Melvin McCants on the year is 53 out of 91, 58% from the free throw line. 5-point lead for Purdue. McCants, sophomore out of Chicago, drops in his 7th point of the night. And it is a lead of 25-19 now. Moe comes all the way to the other end of the court, and Mitchell falls back on him.
Just looking down the score sheet, Joe, and Todd Mitchell has yet to get a point in the ball game. They need to get him involved.
Melvin misses this one, so each team has been to the line twice, missed 1. Here is Moe going low. Horton fires. Horton drills it in, his second basket. It's 25-21 now. Everett Stevens on the dribble. Moe hawks him. Stevens out of Evanston. Moe out of Indianapolis. 8:45 to play. First half. Stevens, 3 points, set and scored his second of the night. He has 10, and the Boilermakers lead by 7.
Well, that makes a great difference for Purdue when Stevens is able to hit from out there.
Moe throws it up. No, goes after it into the hands of Everett Stevens. 3-on-3. Stevens wisely stops it, brings it out. Lewis from 3. No, he didn't get it. And Horton gets the rebound into the hands of Armstrong. Armstrong all the way down, lays it underneath, and the basket is made. And it is made by Horton, or Marble. Marble gets his second basket. It's 21-23 in favor of Purdue.
The shot came too quickly out of the Purdue offense, the three-pointer. They needed to work that one down. They were in a good position to get a nice lead there on the Hawkeyes and weren't able to take advantage of it because the shot just came too quickly.
Hawks are getting ready to make a couple of substitutions. Here's the pass inside to McCants. It goes out of bounds. It'll be out of bounds to Purdue. The Hawks make the substitution. 11, Michael Reeves is in, and 35 is Kevin Gamble in. And the Boilermakers will also make a substitution. First, though, there is a timeout with 7:39 to play in the first half. You're watching Purdue basketball on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. Purdue is ahead of Iowa, 28-23.
This year, United Way is observing its 100th anniversary. 100 years of helping the disabled, the homeless, the young, and the old. They do that through hundreds of people helping agencies throughout Indiana and the United States. I hope you join me in helping make this the biggest and best year in United Way history.
The agents and employees of Farm Bureau Insurance join Coach Gene Cady in support of United Way.
In the style of it, Diet Coke for the smile of it. 1 calorie just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
Well, the Boilermakers have hit 3 3-pointers tonight. A couple by Everett Stevens, one by Troy Lewis. The Boilermakers shoot on the year around 39% from 3-point range. Only 4 of 17 in that first game. And I believe they're either 3 of 5 or 3 of 6 here in the first half tonight.
The thing that you have to be concerned about with that, Joe, is the fact that you don't want to rely on that three-point play. It's nice to have it when it comes within the offense. When you start to rely on it to keep you in the ball game, you generally get burned.
5 turnovers for each team here tonight. The Boilermakers have the basketball. Jeff Arnold checked in. Here is Everett Stevens. He had a notion. Gives it out to Lewis. Back to Stevens. Arnold and Mitchell are the big men in there now. Lee on the wing on the right. Here is Mitchell with the ball.
Hawkeyes have gone back to a man-to-man defense. They came out of that matchup zone.
Moe is on Stevens. Here's Mitchell. Comes out to Lewis. I'll give it to Lee. Got to shoot it. 1 second. They didn't get it off. And the turnover gives the ball to the Iowa Hawkeyes. The shot clock ran out. The Purdue's probably forgot about that because of the timeout.
I think maybe they did, Joe, because they weren't really looking for that shot yet, and nobody seemed to be aware that the shot clock was coming down to the final 4 or 5 seconds.
So the Hawks down by 5, bring it up. Reeves bounces it off there to Horton. Out to Gamble. Gamble is guarded by Lee. Reeves with the ball. Lohaus comes out to Gamble. Bounces it off there to Michael Reeves. Now to Gamble. Comes down to Horton. Arnold is on Horton. Out to Lohaus. He hit a 3-pointer a while ago. The only basket that he's made tonight. Horton with the ball. Comes across the lane. Throws it off and gives it to Gamble. Fadeaway jumper short. Mitchell rebounds. The Hawks didn't look too great on that offensive series.
They're a little confused on what they're doing, but if you notice, they still push the ball inside, and their big people are always leaning towards the basket, and That time they leaned in with a fall-away shot, and it didn't work.
It is very important here, I think, for Mitchell to get a basket down here and get into the offense. Everett Stevens bounces it low to Arnold, puts it up. It won't go. There's a battle for it. Loose ball, and Arnold is going to be guilty of a foul. In his desperation to go after the ball, he fell on top of the other player. His first foul. That's 5 on the team, 5 against Iowa.
There you see Gene Cady concerned with the things going on with his club on the court. You're looking at a 5-point lead still, 28-23, but the Hawkeyes are, although they're a little lax on their offensive play, are trying to get back into this ball game. The crowd has called for them to do some things a couple of times, and without much luck, and that's to the Boilermakers' credit.
Reeves comes down quickly, but the Hawks have to hold up as the Boilermakers also got down. 6 minutes to play in the first half. Purdue leads by 5. Horton with the ball. Comes outside to Reeves. Stevens is on him. Lohaus guarded by Mitchell. Gamble picked up by Lee. Horton sends it inside to Lohaus. Lohaus goes up off the fingertips of Purdue. It'll be out of bounds to the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Everett Stevens, coming from the weak side, was able to knock that ball away after he had left his feet early. Boilermakers got a break on that one.
Here's the ball coming outside to Moe. Gamble. They back away from him a little bit. And what is Arnold? On a foul on Arnold. His second. 6 on the team. Substitution. Marble comes back in.
It was a real battle down low as Arnold was really leaning into Horton, and it was very visible. You knew it was happening. B.J. Armstrong also coming back into the lineup, replacing Reeves. The official actually warned Arnold several times before he called the foul, and Jeff just wasn't able to relieve the pressure. He goes to the bench, and McCants comes back.
McCants has 1 foul. Arnold has 2. 5:38 to play in the half. Purdue leads by 5. Iowa's basketball. Comes into Horton. He gets into the lane. He walks with the ball. No basket. That'll be 6 turnovers for each team now.
Horton got the ball caught again down low. He caught the ball high and brought it down, and when he did, he got into trouble. He got it caught on the hip of a Boilermaker and traveled before he got it to the basket.
So it'll be Lee to put the ball in play, and he gets it in bounds to Arnold, and he was forced out of bounds. A push is going to be called on Ed Horton. That'll be his second foul, and that's 6 on the team.
Well, I think Todd Mitchell deserves an Academy Award on that one. He wasn't necessarily pushed that hard. He was off balance when he caught the ball and did a good job of acting as he went to the court. The official bought it, and the Boilermakers get a break.
So now again, the pressure is tough. He got to get it in, and they do to McCants. He almost walked. Here's a long pass down to Troy Lewis, and he holds it up wisely with 5:26 to play in the first half. Purdue's lead is 5. Purdue's never trailed in the game. Stevens checks the bench. Here's a pass inside, and somebody broke away, and the ball is stolen by the Hawkeyes.
Now, there was the push. The one they didn't call a moment, or they called a moment ago that wasn't a push. They didn't call that one that was, and I think that's probably fair.
Gamble outside. They go to Lohaus. Horton comes out. Lohaus comes across. Mitchell stops him. Horton gets the ball. Comes across, and Everett Stevens makes the steal. He's the leading theft man for the Purdues. Lewis drills it in, and Lewis has 11. That's 26 consecutive games in which he has been in double figures.
And the Boilermakers are scoring off the transition on the turnover.
And the basket is missed there. Getting the ball underneath is Marble, and he scores. He has 6. It's 30-25.
Here comes Jerry Wright back in, and Al Lorenzen also. It'll be Horton and Lohaus going to the bench. And the point I was trying to make is the Boilermakers didn't score off of those turnovers at West Lafayette, but they are doing that here in Iowa City.
7 turnovers for the Hawks, 7 for Purdue. Purdue's basketball, again, the pressure on the inbounds play. Here's the pass in, and a foul is going to be called on Armstrong. Now, that's going to be working to Iowa's detriment pretty soon. Purdue, it may start right now because Purdue, if it can hit its free throws, is already in the bonus situation.
Purdue has done a good job of positioning themselves against that pressure full court. They've gotten themselves into the proper position. Doug Lee is doing a good job of moving up and down the baseline to get the passing lane in the proper direction, and that has been a key thing as far as they've been able to get the ball in bounds. Kip Jones, number 30.
Replaces Mitchell. And Everett Stevens goes to the free throw line the first time tonight. 62% on the year, and that was like a brick. but the ball is retrieved there by Lee, and he couldn't hold on to the ball. Fell down with it. All the way down here, Moe from three. No. Battle for the rebound. He got it. He throws it up there and scores. Moe gets his 8th point. He went after his own missed shot.
The key play there was the fact that Troy Lewis turned his head after Moe shot the ball. He looked at the basket, and Moe immediately went in and got the rebound.
And here is Lewis underneath scoring. He has 13, and he gets them right back. And the Boilermakers go up by 5. The lead had been cut to 3. Here is Gamble underneath, turns around, throws it up, powers his way in there. Gamble scores his first basket. It's 32-29, or Marble, I'm sorry, Marble got it. And we have a foul going to be called on Kip Jones. Elbowing, 2 shots.
That was a reaction play to something that happened under the basket. As Kip Jones will go back out, Todd Mitchell is coming in. There was a lot of elbowing and pushing under the basket when the Hawkeyes scored, and I think at that point Kip caught an elbow down low. He was going down to the other end of the floor. He returned the favor, and that one was picked out by the officials. They saw it. It was right in the middle of everybody's action. Well, the other one was hidden by the number of players around. So as a tough break for the Boilermakers, but you can't throw the elbow. You're going to get caught every time.
Gary Wright, 1 of 2 tonight, fires it up and misses. The Hawks are 1 of 3. Purdue 1 of 3. 3:45 to play. Purdue up 32-29. Purdue is led by 7 on a number of occasions. Purdue is not trailed. Gary Wright misses again. And Troy Lewis came down with a rebound.
Boilermakers have got to turn that into 2 points here. They have a chance to get back up to that 5-point lead. You don't want the Hawkeyes really to get back in it before halftime.
They're kind of coming out trying to trap Stevens or the man with the ball outside. Mitchell bounces to Lee. Lee nor Mitchell have scored. Passes underneath. The shot is missed. Moe rebounds. The Hawks have a chance to tie it with 3 and cut it to 1 with 2. Marble throws it a little way. It's picked up. Now we got a foul on Mitchell. After the loose ball, his second. Or is it going to be Everett Stevens? One official was pointing. They're going to give it to Everett Stevens. That'll be his second. So it's only 1 against Todd Mitchell.
That puts the Hawkeyes into the 1-1 now as Lorenzen goes back out of the contest. This has been just a wildly physical ball game. The Boilermakers were able to knock it away but couldn't pick it up as Armstrong recovered very quickly to get the ball for the Hawkeyes, and he'll have a chance to go to the line for a 1-1. Tony Jones is going to replace Everett Stevens, who they want to protect. They don't want him to pick up foul number 3 here in the first half.
Armstrong is a 77% free throw shooter, 59 out of 77. He's the assist leader and the leader in steals, 98 assists, 33 steals. Purdue's lead is 3. Armstrong fires and scores his 6th point of the night. And the Hawks are 2 of 5.
I think the pressure, if Armstrong hits this, will be extremely intense. Boilermakers have got to be very careful to get this ball in bounds. Hawkeyes could steal it here. They could probably run up a 3 to 5 point lead before halftime.
Armstrong taking his time. Gets it to ball, has 7. Now we're going to have a timeout. The timeout comes with 3:10 to play, and the crowd rises to get into the game. You're watching Purdue basketball on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. Purdue leads Iowa 32-31.
For dependable, season-long control of tough weeds and grasses in soybeans, nothing gives you more for your dollar than Fretland. Nothing.
Ever dream about retirement? Lots of sunshine, warm ocean breezes, golf and sailing almost every day. Well, let me tell you, it takes a lot of money to retire this way. Social Security won't pay for it. Most pension programs won't cover it either. So, stop your dreaming and start planning. Talk to your Farm Bureau insurance agent about an IRA. Believe me, it'll be worth it.
Well, the Hawks have scored the last 4 points to cut a 7-point lead down here to 32-31. In fact, the score was 30-23. Since then, Iowa's outscored Purdue 8-2.
I think the timeout at that point, Joe, really worked to the advantage of the Boilermakers. The Hawkeyes were hot. The crowd was screaming. when they got that free throw, cut that lead down to 1. Now the Boilermakers have had a chance to work over their strategy. They know what they're going to do on this inbounds play, and the Hawkeyes, I think, probably lost a little bit of momentum.
Purdue will be playing in Minnesota Saturday afternoon. That'll be the Big Ten game of the week. Then the Purdue's have a week off. They don't play until a week from the following Monday when they play at Illinois. Then they come home to battle Indiana on Thursday, February the 26th. Purdue's basketball lead down to 1. Ball comes into Mitchell. Lee with it. He'll give it to Tony Jones. Tony gets it into the forecourt. Stevens is on the bench. Tony Jones playing in his place. Here's Troy Lewis, picked up there by Marble. Mitchell still hasn't scored. Tony Jones with it. "13 seconds on the shot clock." That was a big play a while ago when Purdue didn't get a shot away. Troy Lewis for long range, drills it in. He has 15 already. And the Boilermakers lead by 3. 34-31. Lewis with 15, leading all players on the court. He's the 3rd leading scorer in Big Ten. He's averaging in all games 19, a little better than that in the league. A little more than 2 minutes to play. We're in the first half. Reeves with it outside. Purdue's in a 2-3 zone. Moe with the ball goes to Lohaus. In the corner, it goes to Marble. Out to Reeves. Moe, top of the key. 3-point try. It's off the mark. And Mitchell got it. Lee will give it to Tony Jones.
It's a big series for Purdue, being able to score last time as the clock was running down. They got the rebound now on a 3-pointer by Moe. A chance to stretch that lead back out to 5.
Almost a double dribble there by Tony Jones. Here is Mitchell. Couldn't get it. Follow through by Lee. Good. Lee's first basket. And the Boilermakers lead by 5. It's 36-31. 1:30 to play.
It's an error the Hawkeyes don't make very often. They allowed Lee to go in untouched. They turned their head. Doug found the hole and got the ball in.
Down low. Marble didn't shoot. Reeves sends it to Moe. Lohaus right wing. Inside underneath right. Turns around. And the foul is going to be called on Mitchell. And that'll be his second. That's 9 on the team. 2 Hawkeyes come in. 35, Kevin Gamble, and number 10, B.J. Armstrong. Moe goes out. He goes out with 8 points. And Reeves goes out. He hasn't scored. And Kip Jones is coming back in, and he gets a little reaction from the crowd because of the elbow action earlier.
Minute 16 left, Joe, and the Boilermakers have 2 players on the bench that they can't afford to pick up that 3rd foul. So I would imagine they're pretty much going to take the air out of the ball.
Gary Wright finally gets his second free throw. He'd hit 1 out of 3. The Hawks are 4 of 8. Wright got them both. 3-point lead for Purdue. Lewis on the inbounds. Tony Jones will take it down.
Purdue's done a fine job against this press. They really haven't turned the ball over. They've been worried a couple of times.
They are able to take it away, and the Hawks lost it out of bounds.
You really can't come down and stop right at that line when you've got 2 players right at you. You've got to be ready to do something, especially when the guy's 7 feet.
Here's Tony Jones getting the ball inbounds. Less than a minute to play in the first half now. Lewis with the ball. Long pass down to Jones. Kip gives it out to Tony Jones. Shot clock with 30 seconds. Game clock with 46. Tony Jones gets it out to Troy Lewis. Kip Jones, and the crowd reacts. Here is Lee coming into the lane, drives, lays it up, changed hands and scored, and the basket will count, I believe, and there was also a foul on the play. Lee gets the basket, his second. He changed hands, and there was also a foul called on the play.
It's a great move by Lee, coming across the lane, finds the hole, goes down. Lohaus, the man committing the foul over the top. Beautiful change of hands as he went with the left hand to protect the basketball.
Boilermakers lead by 5, and Lee goes to the line trying to make it a 3-point play. Boilermakers are 1 out of 3 at the line. The Hawks are 5 of 8. Lee's first free throw attempt. He got it. Boilermakers 2 of 4 and lead now by 6 after the lead had dwindled to 1, 32-31.
Gene Cady really cheering his team on in terms of their defense, telling them to get their hands up. Let's steal the ball.
Shot clock is off. Game clock has 15 seconds left in the first half. Gamble and Armstrong with it outside. 10 seconds to play. Gamble with the ball. Gamble throws from three-point range. No. Lohaus rebounds, shoots with 3, scores! Lohaus. And that'll be the end of the first half. He got the rebound and he got the basket. And the two teams go to the dressing room, and we've had a Big Ten battle here in the first half. At the end of the first half, the score is Purdue 39, Iowa 35. We'll check the individual scoring in just a minute.
Okay, you guys. Everybody on a motorcycle. Hey, Mel, come on.
He was soon to be a legend. He was soon to be a star.
Come on up.
Worked is a magic.
And they're off. Uncle Babyface Lewis is in trouble. He's fishtailing. Wait, he's got it back. Oh, no! Baker's just blown his engine.
When he worked his magic, you believe.
It's Hot Shoes and Babyface. They're neck and neck. Hot Shoes, come on. It's Babyface Lewis!
Movie star James Dean, another Indiana legend, brought to you with pride by Farm Bureau Insurance.
Gene Belts, the super dealer, has sold over 20,000 cars, trucks, and vans. That's a lot of them. But Shadeland Dodge customers come back again and again because the super dealer has low, low prices. For your best price on a new Dodge, see Gene Belts, the super dealer, at Shadeland Dodge. 16th and Shadeland, before they're all gone.
We're back in Iowa City at halftime of the battle between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Purdue Boilermakers. And the Boilermakers on the shooting of Troy Lewis here tonight. Troy has 25 points, making the 26th consecutive game in which he has gone into double figures. And he's helped lead the Boilermakers to a 39-35 lead here at halftime. The Boilermakers have never trailed in this one. They have led by as many as 7 points on a number of occasions. It dwindled to 1 when it was 32-31, but the Boilermakers then came back and have scored 7-4 over the Hawkeyes, and the lead is now 39-35. In addition to the 15 points that Troy Lewis has, all of them from the field, including 1 three-pointer, we have Everett Stevens with 10 points tonight. He has 2 three-point shots. He went to the free throw line once, did not score. Doug Lee has 5, 2 field goals, 1 out of 1 at the line. Melvin McCants has 7 points here in the first half. He went to the line twice and made 1 of them. And Jeff Arnold off the bench with a basket for 2. Todd Mitchell has not been able to score in the first half. He went to the baskets very strong on 1 occasion and was charged with an offensive foul. On the other side, the Hawks have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in the scoring column. A couple of them have 8 to lead the team. Jeff Moe with 8. Roy Marble with 8, all of those coming from the field. Ed Horton has a couple of baskets for 4. Brad Lohaus has 5 points here tonight, including 1 three-pointer. B.J. Armstrong has 7 points, a three-pointer, a two-pointer, and 2 out of 2 at the free throw line. And Gary Wright has the other points for the Iowa Hawkeyes. He has 3. He's been to the line 6 times and was able to make only 3 of them. Unofficially, I have each team with 8 turnovers apiece. I have the Hawkeyes with 8 fouls, and I have Purdue with 9. Nobody on either side has more than 2 fouls. Stevens has a couple. Arnold has a couple. Mitchell has 2. For the Hawkeyes, B.J. Armstrong has 2. Ed Horton has 2. And Brad Lohaus has 2. Tonight's game between Purdue and Iowa is being played at the Carver-Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City. The score at halftime is Purdue 39, Iowa 35.
I feel like a new man.
He just bought a new car.
And I shopped all over town.
He compared prices, options, warranties.
And I picked out this little beauty.
Very sporty.
Then we needed to insure our new car.
So I shopped all over town.
She compared cost, coverage.
And I chose Farm Bureau Auto Insurance.
Very smart.
You make a very smart, very sporty couple.
You want to fix me?
Thought you never asked.
Let's go.
This year, United Way is observing its 100th anniversary. 100 years of helping the disabled, the homeless, the young, and the old. They do that through hundreds of people helping agencies throughout Indiana and the United States. I hope you join me in helping make this the biggest and best year in United Way history.
The agents and employees of Farm Bureau Insurance join Coach Gene Katie in support of United Way.
From West Lafayette, Indiana, home of one of the world's great universities, it's Purdue's Halftime Showcase. A look at programs and people showing ways Purdue University is touching tomorrow today.
The boys' basketball camps at Purdue University are directed by Purdue's fine varsity basketball coach, Gene Katie, who spends time each day sharing some of his fine philosophy with the campers. Coach Katie gets full attention when he talks either offense or defense, or even footwork. After the coach has spoken, the campers split up into small groups for individual instruction. They practice passing, work on passing, cutting, and picking, are instructed in passing and penetrating, tutored on the intricacies of the pick and roll, all the while under the watchful eye of a qualified coach. Defense is stressed, as in this one-on-one drill, moving the ball on offense, setting picks, and looking for good shots. All are fundamentals that get emphasis. Another acquired skill is that of rebounding. Camp kids have to work to learn how to do this well. Sometimes the results are gratifying. The game itself calls for great agility, a skill that can be improved, so Purdue's campers learn to jump rope, work out on quickness in the foul lane, and practice coordination in this quick feet and balance drill. Of course, kids love to fast break, and they get plenty of instruction in just how to handle the various opportunities. We'll continue with our feature after we pause to hear from our local stations. This is the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network.
It's here. It's Indianapolis's biggest Toyota truck event ever. It's 700 tough Toyota trucks must be sold by midnight, February 28th, to avoid inventory tax. And who's gonna do it? That's right. Your 4 Indianapolis Toyota dealers are dealing now to save you money so they can save money themselves. Just follow the searchlights and beat the tax collector's deadline of midnight, February 28th.
Meet the new herbicide that replaces Bladex and atrazine in corn. Meet new Marksman. Marksman blasts tough velvet leaf. Marksman kills triazine-resistant weeds, too. Replace Bladex and atrazine with new Marksman for more consistent control of broadleaf weeds in corn. We guarantee it. Marksman, because you can't afford to miss.
When the phone system at Monroe's Valley General Hospital quit, they got a shock. The original independent supplier couldn't fix it.
I'll get GTE.
The hospital called GTE at 7:15 a.m., and we started to roll. Within 2 hours, we gave them emergency phones. By 11, we had delivered their new system. And by 4 p.m., the system was taking calls. When you need help, GTE responds.
Purdue boys basketball camps will begin this summer on June 7th, June 14th, June 21st, and June 28th. And there will be lots of action like this passing drill and like this quick score. Certain techniques require help from inanimate objects. Others need to be worked on against live defenders who can move. The camp features a special guest lecturer at least once each week. And one of the favorites is Rick Mount, Purdue's all-time leading scorer. No one knows better how to help kids learn to shoot correctly. The Rocket can still shoot, and he gives impressive personal help. Campers are always divided into age and skill level groups for game action in Mackey Arena, where league contests are of utmost importance. Bear in mind that the players you are watching will be high school and college stars in just a few short years. When the JV lads take the floor, the competition gets smoother. Sometimes a player roars in for a dunk. Other times it's a classy-looking layup or a 17-footer from the top of the key. Make no mistake, the basketball campers can shoot from far and near. On the camp's last day, a special awards ceremony is held in Purdue's Mackey Arena, and all the campers show off with the assembled parents. Here, the families of campers can check out what their favorite basketball players have learned during the week. Nothing in basketball commands the attention like the slam dunk. Some of the campers are masters at the art. After the preliminaries, Coach Gene Cady hands out awards to the top campers as selected by the entire camp staff during the past week, and another full week comes to a close. If you'd like information on this summer's Purdue boys basketball camps, which will begin one-week periods on the last 4 Sundays in June, write today to Purdue Boys Basketball Camp, Room 31, Mackey Arena, Purdue University, West Lafayette, Indiana, 47907. We suggest you hurry, as camps always fill to capacity very quickly.
We're back at Iowa City at Carver-Hawkeye Arena. It is at halftime. Purdue leads Iowa with a score of 39-35. Troy Lewis is the leading scorer. He has 15. I may have said somewhere in my summary a while ago he had 25. He's not having that good a game. He's having a very good game. He has 15. Todd Mitchell has had a little difficulty here tonight. In fact, he has not been able to score, Bob. We were just talking a moment ago. He really hasn't handled the ball that much low. When he did, he made that offensive foul, and you'll recall that he got 11 in that first game at Mackey, but got only 2. Let's hope that he turns that around in this game.
I think a great deal of the time he was being guarded by Brad Lohaus, a 7-footer against 6'7". That's a little tough to go over the top. Now, you can take him inside and muscle him, but you got to get down there first, and he's had a difficulty in getting into that position. But on the other end of the court, Todd has played very good defense and done a fine job of keeping Lohaus away from the basket. Now, I did get a rebound at the end of the ball game, but he was against one of the Purdue guards at that particular point. So, although Todd offensively is not having a great game, defensively he's doing very well.
And Coach Cady used a number of players in that first half. Tony Jones was off the bench. Kip Jones was off the bench. And Jeff Arnold. And Jeff Arnold he scored a basket in there and made a nice defensive play on the other end. He committed a couple of fouls. The Boilermakers, as I indicated earlier, they have 3 players with 2 fouls, and the Hawks have a couple with that. So that, at the moment, is not a significant part of the game, is it?
I think Purdue's done a fine job of getting inside, Joe, and positioning. They haven't had to go over the top, so they didn't foul as much as they might have fouled at West Lafayette. So moving their feet, getting in the proper position, and doing the things that they know they do well, I think has given them an extra boost that they didn't have in that first contest. They don't seem to be the least bit concerned about this ball game in terms of winning or losing. They're just out there and playing good, solid basketball. And that's something that Gene Cady's wanted them to do all year long. Not to worry about what the outcome is. If they play well, the outcome will be good. And that's what they're doing here tonight. They're very loose. They feel confident with what they're doing, and they've controlled the tempo, which is very difficult to do on the road. They have made the Hawkeyes play a slower style of basketball than what they would like to.
So we're just about ready for the second half. The score is 39-35 Purdue over Iowa, and we'll be back for the second half in just a minute.
You're nothing but a fat, lazy cat.
I still hang out with a fat, lazy cat.
He never has appreciated my fine company.
Jim Davis, another Indiana legend.
Two Indiana legends.
Brought to you with pride by Farm Bureau Insurance.
Well, this is the first of a 3-game road trip, although there will be a week in between the second and third games, really about 8 days in there. Boilermakers are playing here at Iowa tonight. They go Saturday to play at Minnesota in a 4 o'clock Eastern game. That's a Big Ten game of the week. And then the Boilermakers will be off until Monday, February 23rd, when they play at Illinois before coming back home to play host to Indiana and Ohio State.
(39-35), the Boilermakers leading the Hawkeyes here in Iowa City, in a game that is tremendously different than the one played in West Lafayette. Purdue has controlled the tempo, and thus they've got the lead in the contest, Joe. And I tell you, they got to come out strong again here in the second half early. First 5 minutes, as the coaches always say, will be critical. You look at your stats, and the Boilermakers shooting very well from the field, 14 out of 27, or 17 out of 27 for 63%. Hawkeyes had the same amount of shots, but only hit 14 at 52%. Free throw or three-point shooting has been very good for Purdue, as they were 3 out of 5. The Hawkeyes 2 out of 6. Free throw shooting, and nobody going to burn the world up with that. The rebounding was at 13, and I thought it was a little greater for Purdue. You see the scores, as you mentioned earlier, and the rebounders. McCants having a good game rebounding with 5 already. He only averages about 5.5 per contest, so he has really done a great job on the inside for Purdue here tonight.
So we're delighted to have you along the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network as we get set now for the second half of this one. Remember, the Boilermakers at the moment, Indiana's already played its first game of this week. They beat Northwestern in a squeaker last night, 77-75. That gave the Hoosiers a game-and-a-half lead over Purdue, pending the outcome of this one. And then the Hawkeyes are another half game back. So whoever wins this one is in sole possession of second place.
It was interesting looking down those stats, Joe. They're so even.
Yeah.
The shooting percentage is really the only big difference. About the same number of free throws, the same number of rebounds. Turnovers are equal. Personal fouls, 9 for Purdue and 8 for Iowa. So we're looking at a ball game going into the second half that is very, very even. And the Hawkeyes have spotted Purdue 4 points. And if you're a Boilermaker fan, you certainly hope that's enough.
In the first game, the Hawkeyes shot 50%, 28 out of 56. Purdue shot only 39%, 26 out of 66. Purdue, 3-point range, 4 of 17. The Hawks were 1 of 4. Free throws, Purdue was 11 of 14. The Hawks were 13 of 20. It's Purdue's basketball as the second half begins. Purdue leads by 4, 39-35. And again, the pressure is pretty tough here as the ball comes inbounds at midcourt. Boilermakers have their starters in, and the Hawks have their original starters in.
Hawks back in that zone again as they used early in the first half. It's a matchup depending on what Purdue puts out front in terms of guards.
Lewis comes out to Everett Stevens, off to Mitchell. Here's the pass inside to McCants, back to Mitchell. Lee right wing. Stevens, 3 points, good! Stevens has 13, including 3 three-pointers, and the Boilermakers lead by 7 again. They send it inside low. Here's Horton stuffing it. He got 3 on the back door. He has 6 points.
Well, that kind of negates that three-pointer that the Boilermakers got a moment ago. They needed a good defensive series, but Horton just found the hole in the defense.
At guard, Stevens and Lewis. Mitchell and Lee are the forwards, and McCants in the middle. Lewis from 3. He didn't get it. And we have a walking foul. Somebody. Now, the Purdue player slipped. There's no question about that.
It was Doug Lee. And there you see Tom Jones, or Tom Davis, wondering what's going on out on the court. Lee just fell down, and when he did, the Iowa player came down on top of him and turned the ball over.
And we got a foul on the inbounds play on Marble, his second, and the first on the team. Nothing went right for the Hawkeyes on that particular defensive series. Nothing. Yet,
the Boilermakers are getting a lot of breaks, and I guess when you're on the road, you'll take every one you get. Just try to get out of the building alive if you can.
Mitchell to throw it in, and does. And it comes right out to Troy Lewis, back to Mitchell. Bounces it low, and McCants goes up, and there's a reach-in foul, and it'll be on Marble. His third and second in the last 10 seconds of play.
Big series for Purdue as they're able to hang on to the basketball. Got a couple of breaks. I think it's just critical right here that McCants go ahead and complete these 2 free throws and give the Boilermakers that lead. They've got to get something out of this.
McCants, 1 out of 2 at the line, 7 points tonight. Shoots 58% on the year. Drops in the first. He has 8. The Boilermakers are now 3 of 5, and the lead is 6, 43-37. Purdue trying to match its biggest spread. Purdue is led by 7 on a number of occasions. Not now, though. Rebounded by Armstrong. Lowhouse from 3. No. Rebounded Stevens. Stolen away by Marble. Armstrong kicked by Lewis. Out of bounds. Iowa, a new 45-second clock.
Big turnover for Purdue. Gene Katie says, settle down, guys. We got to hang on to the ball and get baskets off of turnovers.
It comes in to Armstrong. Coach Tom Davis thought it was a reach-in foul on that one. Horton with the ball. Here is a jump shot. It is good by Horton. He has 8, including 2 baskets here in the second half. 43-39. Purdue up quickly. 3-on-2. Lewis stops, jumps, shoots, and it won't score. And it is loose. Picked up by Garbage. Mitchell throws it up. No. Tipped up by McCants. Good. McCants gets the tip in. He has 10. Purdue had to work for that one. Armstrong comes down.
It's the board power we talked about in the first half. They're playing it very well.
Mo drives, can't shoot it. It's deflected away. Kicked there by Armstrong. It'll be out of bounds to Purdue on the 10th turnover by the Iowa Hawkeyes.
And the Hawkeyes are really leaving the door open for Purdue, making a lot of mistakes early here in the second half of play. We haven't quite gone 3 minutes yet, and the Boilermakers have been able to sneak that lead out to 6.
So it's Purdue's basketball lead, a trigger at inbounds. He's got to get it in, and does. Here's a pass to Lewis, and he almost lost the ball. Ooh, very careless with it. 17:30 to play in the game. Purdue's lead is 6. Lewis looks inside, nothing. Stevens goes to Mitchell. Mitchell still has not scored in the game. Lee, 3 points, too long. Battle for the rebound. It'll be saved by Armstrong. Nearly 3 minutes gone by second half. Purdue's lead is 6. Mo with the basketball. Lowhouse. Back to Mo. Purdue setting there with kind of a zone, kind of a matchup situation. Here's Lowhouse getting free. Stevens knocks him on the arm. His 3rd foul. The first on Purdue, second half.
Boilermakers again looking down to the ball. Everybody looked down inside when the ball went low. Here's where Lowhouse comes from, way out on top. Look at him cut down the lane. The ball goes down. Everybody's watching the ball, and nobody's watching Lowhouse. He makes the good cut inside. Stevens commits the foul.
Lowhouse at the line, shoots 48 out of 68 on the year, 71%. First time that the 7-footer from Glendale, Arizona has been to the stripe tonight. He has 5 points, a 3-pointer, and a 2 in the first half. At 66% is free throw shooting in the Big Ten. Drops in. His 6th point of the night.
I seem to feel a little more intensity here in the second half of play, and I thought both teams a moment ago looked very nervous about this ball game, and just for about 30 or 40 seconds, and then got back into the tempo of their play.
House is a little weak on this one, and Lewis comes down with the ball. Ooh, almost lost it though. 5-point lead for the Boilermakers, 45-40. There's still not much in there. 3-pointer by Stevens, and that is his 4th of the night, and he has 16 points, leading everybody in scoring, and Purdue has its biggest lead. Mo fires. 3-pointer for Mo. He has 11. And a 5-point lead. Purdue coming up quickly. Troy Lewis Waits now for the other Boilermakers to get up there. Boy, that three-point, that can change the complexion both ways rapidly.
When you have good shooters that are on, and Mo seems to be getting his touch, Stevens has been on all night long, it can really change your defensive strategy. You have to pull the ball way out, and then that helps your big guys inside.
Boy, McCants just cannot get free. There he is. The shot is good. McCants has 12. And the Boilermakers lead by 7.
Good quick passes, and then the insertion from the corner just made a great play out of it.
House from 3 bounces over and out. And we're going to have a timeout with 15:35 to play in tonight's game. You are watching Purdue basketball on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. Purdue is ahead of Iowa 50-43.
Everybody knows how to do that kick. Health kick, yeah. Whoa! The goodness of milk is a real health kick. Health kick, yeah, milk. You pour a glass of milk real tall, getting calcium and vitamins and loving it all. Looking good. Well, come on, everybody, milk's that kick. Health kick, do that kick. Come on, everybody, do that kick. America's favorite health kick.
Indiana National Corporation on money. By itself, it's only paper. But in the right hands, it becomes a lot more valuable. All of our banks throughout Indiana can help you do so much more with your money. Because we don't see money as paper. To us, it's something that gets you where you want to go. Wherever you see the bison, the symbol of better banking.
At Iowa City, Purdue is ahead of the Iowa Hawkeyes 50-43. A moment ago, it was 48-40. That was the biggest lead that Purdue has had tonight. Everett Stevens is 4 out of 4 from three-point range, including 2 here in the second half. He has 16. He all of a sudden is the leading scorer. He and McCants have done the scoring in the second half. Troy Lewis and Everett Stevens and McCants and Lee and Arnold had points in the first half. Mitchell still has not scored for Gene Katie's Purdue Boilermakers.
Jeff Arnold has come into the lineup for Purdue, number 43, and the Hawkeyes made a change as well.
44 came in, Al Lorenzen. 6'9" junior. It's Purdue's basketball, and Purdue's got to get it in, and Mo almost fouled him. In fact, I think if I'd had the whistle, I would have blown it.
But you didn't.
A trap here, and Lee tips it up, and it is out of bounds. Purdue, and the Boilermakers got a great break there because Lorenzen, after the loose ball, he and Campbell and one of them touched it.
Purdue has had trouble when they've gotten to the 10-second line. They've been stopping and allowing that zone pressure to give them trouble.
Now the trap. Here's the ball inbound to Mitchell. He was almost cut down again by Armstrong.
Now Armstrong stuck his nose in where it didn't belong, and he caught an elbow as Mitchell turned around.
Here's the pass inside to Arnold. Bounces it back to Mitchell. Here's Stevens. Now to Lewis. Now to Lee. They're just working it around. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Now 10. Now 5. Lewis missed it. Rebounded there by Horton. 7-point lead for Purdue. Armstrong to Lorenzen. Off to Armstrong. Goes over there to Gamble. Lee stays with him. Armstrong picked up by Stevens. Stevens playing with 3 fouls. This is Lorenzen outside. Gamble throws it in low. Mo puts it up. No, too long. Battle for the rebound. Lorenzen comes off, throws it up and in. Lorenzen gets the basket. His first. That cuts the lead to 5. 50-45. Full court pressure. It comes to Stevens and now to Arnold. Back to Stevens.
Again, you saw Mo lean in, and the Boilermakers couldn't find the right position to get that charging foul against him. The Hawkeyes are notorious for that.
Here's Arnold into Lewis. Lewis is fouled by Lorenzen, and Troy may have gotten away with a travel on that one.
He shuffled his feet as he caught the ball down low. He felt the pressure coming from Lorenzen. Here we'll see it again. There's the pass. Good pass to the inside. Well, we couldn't see the travel as the the picture got there just a moment late. So Reeves will come back in, number 11. Armstrong goes out.
Moe also goes out. And Marble is back in. And at the free throw line will be Lewis, Purdue's best free throw shooter.
Boy, at the other end, there was a real battle between Horton or it was Gamble down low along with Lee. They were really fighting for position.
Lewis takes his first free throw of the night and missed it. He's an 81% free throw shooter. Purdue is now 3 of 7 at the line. Tony Jones is coming back into the lineup.
Seems that we have just a tiny momentum shift. I felt it in just the last time down the floor that Purdue had trouble with their offense. The defense for Iowa was very good, and the Hawkeyes are on the edge of getting a spurt going here.
Lewis missed them both, and the Hawks are down by 5. Reeves with the ball. Inside, here is Arnold, his 3rd foul. 2nd on Purdue in this half.
Jeff, when he plays down low like that behind the offensive player, tends to lay his body, especially from the waist down, into the offensive player. That's where he committed the foul with the knee as he tried to push Gamble to the outside, was not able to do it, picked up the foul. The Hawks still have the ball.
And Purdue takes Arnold out. Here's Lorenzen, stolen by Tony Jones on the inbounds play.
Absolutely fantastic play by Jones.
Here is Mitchell driving, and a foul is going to be called on Mitchell on a charge. That'll be his 2nd of the game.
That'll be an interesting one to look at because it appeared that he was able to sidestep. Let's take a look at it here. Here comes the sidestep.
Now he's moving.
Yeah,
right?
that's a tough position to look at that foul from this angle. From where we're sitting right now, it looked like maybe he did not commit the foul, that it should have gone the other way. Troy Lewis is on the court, and he may have gotten run into down there at the end of that play by his own player. It may have been Mitchell that ran into him.
I said that was the 2nd foul on Mitchell's 2nd charge. That's his 3rd foul, and he is the 3rd Purdue player now with 3.
Troy got hit in the head as he's holding his forehead, going back to the bench. It could be that as he went down, he banged his head on the floor. And they'll take a look at him. Doc Combs now is with him. Everett Stevens will come back into the lineup. Remember, Everett has 3 fouls. And with Troy Lewis on the bench, he is the designated scorer in this bunch. And so now the Boilermakers are going to have to work very hard to get that ball into good scoring position.
13:40 to play in the game. The Boilermakers lead 50-45. Mitchell still has not scored in the game. His average is 16-2. Purdue's in a 2-3 zone. Gamble to Lohaus. Lee almost made the steal. Comes outside. Gamble bounces it in low. Here's the ball thrown up there by Wright. It's no good. It'll be out of bounds, and it belongs to Iowa on the out of bounds play. Here is a substitution. Troy Lewis is they can't get him back in. Ooh, almost a 5-second call as the ball comes into Wright. Nearly 7 minutes gone by in the 2nd half.
Been a fierce defensive 2nd half of play by both teams, playing very good defense.
Here is Gamble double clutching, and Tony Jones knocked it away, but it hit Gamble last, and it'll be out of bounds to Purdue on the 12th turnover by the Hawkeyes. Troy Lewis is back in, and Tony Jones played very well while he was in there.
Jones has really come on in the last 7 or 8 ball games for Purdue to run that club when Everett Stevens or Troy Lewis has to go to the bench.
Stevens double teamed, gives it to Lee. Here's Stevens, brings it up. He's the designated bringer-upper, I guess.
He did a good job that time of getting past the 10-second line and forcing the trap defense to go on back in and do their set half-court play.
Here is McCants turning on Wright. Comes around, and he walked with the ball. Ball belongs out of bounds to Iowa. Back in is Jeff Moe. Back in is number 10, B.J. Armstrong.
That'd be an interesting one to look at. It was tough to tell from our position. There were so many players in the way whether or not he traveled. He made a little ball fake down low, and that makes it look like you're taking a lot of steps, although he went a long distance from where he caught that ball.
11 turnovers unofficially for Purdue, 12 for the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes made 30 in that game back in January when Purdue won it or lost it 76-7. Lohaus, long range. 2 points for Lohaus. He has 8, and that cuts the lead to 3. It's 50-47. Hawks have outscored Purdue 7-2 now. Mitchell needs to get into the offensive action. He just hasn't been in the position to go to the board except twice, and he was charged on both of those.
Boilermakers need a good offensive set this time. Last couple of times down, they really haven't got into the flow and gotten the ball into good shooting position.
20 seconds in the shot clock. Mitchell underneath, and he wouldn't fall, but there is a foul on the play. And the foul is going to be on Gary Wright, his first. That'll be 4 on the team, and Mitchell will go to the line.
It's the kind of power move that we've been looking for Mitchell to make. He splits the defensive players right there, and you saw the contact between Wright and Mitchell. Todd is at the line, and the Boilermakers need 2.
Purdue is 3 of 8, and that breaks a string of 4 misses, and that's Mitchell's first point of the night.
Couldn't come at a better time for Purdue. They've been stuck on 50 for a long time.
Mitchell drops in both of them. And we're going to have a timeout now with 11:53 to play in the game. It's a struggle. You're watching Purdue basketball on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. Purdue is ahead of Iowa 52-47.
Think back to last year. Guiding that combine down the last rows of beans. Coming home. Those great yields proved your Sonaland herbicide did the job. Kept weeds down all season long for a lot less money than last sower doing. Yes, like everyone and everything else, Sunland pitched in to help wrap up a successful harvest. No wonder you'll be using Sunland again. Soybeans and Sunland, made for each other.
We used to have a different insurance company for all our insurance policies.
But when something went wrong, we were never sure who to call.
So we got Farm Bureau Insurance to insure everything.
It's a lot easier.
It's more convenient.
And there's no confusion.
We got one company, one agent.
And only one phone number to remember.
You might say Farm Bureau's one of a kind.
Just like you.
Oh, no.
With Bob Ford, this is Joe Pate. We're back at Iowa City. Struggle for second place in the Big Ten Conference between Iowa, coming in with a record of 8-2, and Purdue starting tonight's play at 9-2. Indiana is 11-1, including the victory over Northwestern at Evanston last night. It's Iowa's basketball. Purdue 52, Iowa 47, 11:52 to play in the game. Purdue has its starters back in there. Horton with the ball, throws it low, and almost a walk by Horton. Throws it up there, no. McCants rebounds. And Lee will bring it up.
Mel McCants has just done a super job on the backboard, really fighting Horton that time, and got back inside to get his rebound.
He and Horton played against each other in the championship in the Illinois high school tournament. McCants' team won. Here is a three-pointer. Good by Everett Stevens. He has 19, 5 of 5 tonight for Everett Stevens. Here is a shot missed by B.J. Armstrong. McCants rebounds it. I started to say about that Illinois tournament, McCants' team won. He had a tremendous game in the afternoon. He fouled out that night, so he didn't really have a good performance in that second game on that Saturday. But his team won the title. Boilermakers lead by 8 now, 55-47. On the three-point shooting of Everett Stevens with 19 points. He is 5 of 5. McCants throws it in. He has 14, and the Boilermakers have a 10-point lead, the biggest of the night. Underneath, here is a foul going to be called on Lee. His first, 4 on the team. Well, I tell you, right, a 3 out of 3 for Stevens from three-point range in the second half.
It didn't bother the Hawkeyes much, though. They don't get their heads down.
No.
They get the ball and zip, it's right down the court. They found Marble down low in great position. Lee committed the foul. Unfortunately, McCants was there to get a hand on the ball, or that thing might have gone in for a three-point.
Marble at the line, 71%. He has not shot a free throw tonight. It's his 9th point. The Hawks are 7 of 11. Tony Jones is in, and Lee is out. Purdue with 3 guards in there now. 57-48. Here's Marble, averaging 14-1. He's the team's leading scorer, and he has 10. He and Mo have 21 of the points on the board for the Hawks. It's now 57-49. Here comes Purdue. Everett Stevenson hustles it up the front. He comes all the way down, lays it off to McCants. Shot's good! 16 for McCants, and the Boilermakers lead 59-49. Stevens is the leading assist man, leading stealer, and the leading shot blocker, and the leading scorer tonight. You might call him a leader this evening, right? We're just about midway of the second half, and Purdue leads by 10 for a second time here tonight. This is Horton with it. Throws it low, off the fingertips of Armstrong. It'll be out of bounds to Purdue on the 13th turnover for the Hawks. You started to say something.
Well, the Hawkeyes are ripe for picking right now. The Boilermakers can run that lead up and get themselves an advantage. Good shot selection, moving the ball on offense, and just continuing with their defensive play will be key.
10 minutes. 10 minutes to play. I tell you, McCants has got fire in his eye. He has 16 points. He got 8 against the Hawks in that first game. Here is Mitchell. Stuffs it in. No basket. There was a foul, and it'll be called on Lohaus. That'll be his third. He is the second Hawkeye with 3. Oh, they're going to change it to Horton? Well, give it to Horton. That'll be his third. Now we're going to have a timeout, and it comes with 9:46 to play in tonight's game. You are watching Purdue basketball on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. The Boilermakers have a 10-point lead on the Iowa Hawkeyes.
I think we should talk to our Farm Bureau insurance agent about more life insurance.
Life is full of surprises. Let's use our extra money to enjoy them.
Honey.
We could take a long vacation. I can just see you lying on a beach soaking up the sun.
Honey.
Or we could buy a brand new convertible. It's like a vacation on the beach, but with no sand.
Honey, we're expecting one of life's little surprises.
Because life is full of surprises.
All the right parts in all the right places. Napa's putting smiles on American faces.
When you go with Napa, you go with confidence, because every Napa brand part is backed by the Napa National Warranty Program, the most extensive parts warranty program available. There's even a toll-free number to put you in touch with the nearest Napa Auto Parts store. So make sure it's Napa, because Napa keeps you going wherever you go.
All the right parts in all the right places.
Everett Stevens has 19. He got only 10 in the first meeting. McCants has 16. He got only 8 in the first meeting. Troy Lewis has 15. He got 20 in that first meeting. Lewis hasn't scored in the second half. The slack has been picked up by McCants and Stevens.
You know, I don't remember here in the second half Troy Lewis taking a shot.
I don't believe he has.
He's had the ball in good position several times, but he's been looking for other players and has been moving the ball within the offense, and the shots have just come elsewhere.
He was 7 of 9 in the first half. I tell you, the defense is going to pick up here. Lewis from 3, didn't get it. Oh, a great rebound there by Kip Jones, who came in during the timeout. Stevens, jump shot, no. Back into the hands of Lohaus. He gives it to Moe, and the Hawks are on the run. Marble goes up, no. Rebounded McCants. Lohaus was going in and could not get the ball. 9:19 to play in the second half.
Hawkeye shot selection hasn't been good the whole ball game, and if they're going to get back in this one, they better start shooting the ball from the right spots.
Everett Stevens is on the wing right. That's he with the ball. Tony Jones comes outside. Lewis looks inside, trying to get it to McCants. Nothing there. Jones hands it back to Stevens. Less than 9 minutes to play in the game. Purdue leads by 10. Kip Jones can't get it to fall. Lohaus rebounds. Long pass down for Marble, and it's deflected away. Stolen by Purdue. 15 turnovers for the Hawks, 10 for Purdue. Kip Jones couldn't get 3. They didn't get it to him just a split second slow.
Boy, Tony Jones just made a great play down there to knock the ball away from Marble. Looked like a sure basket. Jones went high in the air to knock it back to the floor, and Everett picked it up.
Both teams getting ready to make substitutions. Purdue will bring 3 players in. Here is the ball knocked away, and the chase is on. And the Hawks going to get it. Lohaus stuffs it in. And it is 59-51. Here comes Purdue. Double teamed on Jones. He's got to get rid of it, and does to Stevens. And a timeout is going to be called by Purdue. Wait a minute, it's Purdue's timeout. Yes, one official pointed to the Hawks. Now Purdue wants it. They want to get their 3 players back in here with a lead of 8. 8:03 to play in the game. You're watching Purdue basketball on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. Purdue is ahead of Iowa, 59-51.
Okay, you guys. Everybody on a motorcycle. Hey, Mel, come on.
He was soon to be a legend. He was soon to be a star.
Come on up.
Worked his magic.
And they're off. Babyface Lewis is in trouble. He's fishtailing. Wait, he's got it back. Oh, no! Baker's just blown his engine.
When he worked his magic, you believe.
It's Hot Shoes and Babyface. They're neck and neck. Hot Shoes, come on. It's Babyface Lewis!
Movie star James Dean, another Indiana legend, brought to you with pride by Farm Bureau Insurance.
At Iowa City in Carver-Hawkeye Arena, we got one of those traditional Big Ten battles. At the moment, the Boilermakers lead the Iowa Hawkeyes 59-51. Purdue has been up by as many as 10. It got very close when it was 32-31. That's the closest the Hawkeyes have been. Hawkeyes never led.
Iowa's not done yet, Joe. They're not going to fold. They'll make another run at the Boilermakers, and maybe 2. So it's key that Purdue is able to continue to score with the Hawkeyes and not let them run right up on them.
Lee to throw it in right in front of us. He's got to get it in, and does, to Arnold. Back to Lee. Now to Mitchell. Mitchell has 2 points tonight. McCants 16, Stevens 19, Lewis 15, Lee 5. Arnold has 2. Here is a steal. Here goes Marble all the way down, and a foul on Everett Stevens, and he has 4. 5 on the team.
Awfully tough pass to try to make into the middle of that Iowa defense. Here comes the play a moment ago. Everett does a good job of trying not to foul, but there's just no ways. He makes body contact with Marble. He didn't hit him on the arm, I don't think, but he did make body contact. Everett will go out with 4. Tony Jones will come back in, who's played very well here tonight for Purdue, and this Iowa crowd is ready to get back into the ballgame, and they want their Hawks to catch up.
Marble at the line, 71% on the year overall. He's 2 for 2 here this evening. His team is down by 8, 59-51. The sophomore out of Flint, Michigan, 6'5", leads his team in an average scoring of 14-1, misses his first free throw attempt of the evening. The Hawks are 8 of 13 at the line. Purdue 5 of 10 from the stripe.
Marble a little relaxed that time, didn't have enough tension in his arm as he made the shot, not enough follow through.
And this one goes through for his 11th point of the night. It is 59-52. Lee to Tony Jones.
They're going to try to pick him up right here at the 10-second line.
Tony Jones with the ball. 7.5 minutes left to play. Lewis has not scored in the second half. 15 in the first. 7 of 9, including a three-pointer. Lee goes inside. Arnold shot. Good. Arnold clutch basket. His first of the second half. He has 4, and Purdue leads by 9. 61-52.
Well, that was a big basket by the young man from California. He just turned around coolly with that little 6-foot jump shot. Looked very good.
Way across it goes to Roy Marble. It comes the other way. Armstrong wanted to take one. Horton may have walked. He throws it away. Oh, no, they hit it last. Was deflected by one of the Boilermakers underneath.
I think maybe either Arnold or Lee, Joe, was the man.
Here is Horton with the ball. Feeds it inside. Right. Tries to come across, no, and Arnold is guilty of his 4th foul. So he is the second Boilermaker with 4. Everett Stevens on the bench with 4. Arnold now is going to be replaced by Melvin McCants.
One of the things that the Hawkeyes had a lot of success with at West Lafayette was using that little shovel pass that they throw down low. They used it that time to right, and they've used it several times here tonight. The Boilermakers have been able to crunch their defense back inside and not allow them to catch that ball low and still be able to go to the basket.
Gary Wright is 3 out of 6 at the line. He's had his troubles there tonight. Hadn't scored a field goal. 9 of 15 now for the Hawks from the 15-foot mark there.
I think you had a stat earlier, Joe, that the Hawkeyes have shot a lot more free throws than their competition. Yeah. They really like to take that ball down low when they're in trouble.
Missed them both. And Troy Lewis comes off the board with it. That's a big rebound. 6:43 to play in the game. Tony Jones with the ball. Bounces it low to Lee. Underneath, and it's knocked away. Stolen away the Hawks, and here they go. B.J. Armstrong bounces it to Lohaus, lays it in. He has 12. He is the leading scorer for the Hawkeyes. The lead is down to 7, 61-54.
The key here for Purdue is just to keep your cool. You know the Hawkeyes are going to run at you another time or two.
They double-team Lewis. 6:10 to play in the game. Tony Jones comes out to Mitchell, still looking for his first field goal. Tony Jones with the ball. Lee looking for help. Blows it low, and it's stolen by Lohaus. 14 turnovers. 15 for the Hawks. Armstrong comes down. Armstrong all the way through, and the foul is going to be called on Tony Jones. His first. The Hawks will go to the line, down 7, 5:48 to play. The last 3 times the Boilermakers have not had a very good offensive series.
Purdue is missing their leader at this point. That's Everett Stevens out front. Tony Jones is doing an all right job, but he's not a scorer. He takes away that extra opportunity that they have. Ed Horton, 25. The man in for the Hawkeyes, and Iowa's red hot at the moment. Their confidence is high. They need to hit free throws. They missed 2 a moment ago.
B.J. Armstrong, 6'2" sophomore from Detroit, has hit 2 out of 2. Stevens is getting ready to check back in for Purdue. Armstrong with 7 points tonight. The Hawkeyes are now 10 of 16. Here's Stevens in, and Lee is out. B.J. Armstrong, 3 out of 3, 2 field goals, 1 a three-pointer.
Gene Cady, I think, didn't feel like he could go any longer without his team leader out there. Everett Stevens is the man to run the offense. He'll have to be very careful with his extracurricular defensive play off the ball.
Hawks trying to cut it to 4. Bounces off. McCants gets it. Woo. A little weak there by B.J. 61-55. That was a big miss. Everett Stevens with 19. 5 out of 5 from three-point range. Lewis with the ball. The Hawks are really hanging loose, and a foul is going to be called on Marble. That's 4 on Marble. He is the first Hawkeye with 4. That's only 6 on the team.
You say it is only 6, but it now evens the Boilermakers with the Hawkeyes, and the fact that everybody's in the 1-1 at this point, I think that's going to be critical because Purdue hadn't been there for a long time. Kevin Gamble will come back in. Marble will go out. As you mentioned a moment ago, he has 4.
He goes out with 11 points. 8 of them in the first half. Purdue's basketball. I can't believe they pushed McCants down over here, and the official was looking straight into it.
I guess that's one of those no blood, no foul.
And Mo got a little close there. Here is Tony Jones coming down, uses up the dribble, throws it way out to Lewis, and now to Stevens. Stevens tries, puts it up. No, battle for the rebound. Mitchell puts it up, dumps it in. First basket of the night. He's got 4 points, and the Boilermakers lead by 8. Boy, that one came at a great time, didn't it?
Super effort.
Lohaus from 3. He didn't get it. McCants a big rebound. He falls down, and we got a foul. It'll be called on Gamble. His first. We're even now in the fouling department, 7 apiece. It's been very close that way. 7 apiece in the second half. Purdue 9 in the first half, and the Hawks 8. 1-1 for Purdue, up by 8. 4:57 to play.
I don't think you can get a basketball game with any more intensity than what this one has had the last 4 minutes. The Hawkeyes have really turned up the heat in terms of their defense. They're forcing the ball inside offensively. It's not falling, and the guy on the board is the man at the free throw line right now, Mel McCants. And if there was ever a star of a ball game, Mel has been outstanding here tonight.
He and Stevens. Melvin McCants is 2 out of 4 tonight at the line. He has 17 points. Purdue 5 of 10 at the stripe. Melvin didn't get it to fall. Battle for the rebound. The Hawks got it. Horton has it. This is Gamble. Back to Lohaus. Armstrong. It really looks strange to see a 7-footer outside shooting those 3-pointers, you know.
And he does get to the backboard pretty well. He moves right to the board when the ball gets in there.
Rojas missed it, tipped up and in, and the tip in is by Horton. He has 10. I don't know how Rojas missed that first one, though.
I think he got his back turned to the ball, and that's what happened.
6 points. Now Purdue lets it get away. No, they say the other. Oh, no, they stay with that one. One official tried to overrule the other. It's 15 turnovers for Purdue, 15 for the Hawks.
I got to agree with Gene Katie. That stunk. That was a terrible call as the ball was knocked out of the hands of Todd Mitchell by Gamble, who really clobbered him. Official right on the play said it goes the other way.
Lee comes back in. Tony Jones goes out. The lead is 63-57. 4:27 to play, and the clock drags on for Purdue fans. Armstrong. Yeah, that was a call on Marble. He commits an intentional foul. It is his 5th, and I think it'll be a 2-shot violation. Boy, he really shoved, and that's an offensive foul. Well, it'll be shooting down there, and Purdue will go to the line.
Well, it will be a turnover for the Hawkeyes, and I tell you what, that comes at a critical time. And Marble and Lee have been going at it all night long. I mean, it's not like they're mad at each other. They've just been fighting for position. If you remember earlier, Lee got called in the same situation for shoving. This time it's going to cost the Hawkeyes as Marble has 5.
You know, I was looking, and I thought the official was going to let it go by, but he did call it, and he fouls out. He's pleading his case now, but it'll be a 2-shot violation, and Lee will be at the line. And he's been there once tonight and made it. He hasn't scored in the second half, however. Purdue is only 5 of 11 from the line. The Hawks are 10 of 17. Neither team good tonight or in the year.
Well, if the Boilermakers can keep that lead at 6-8, it does keep the Hawkeyes at bay. When it gets down to 4, it gets critical.
Lee didn't get it to fall. And Purdue has missed 2 in a row now. Lee gets this one to fall. He's got 6 points. Boilermakers is 6 of 13, and the lead is 7. They toyed with that 7-point lead throughout the first half, built it up to 10 in the second half. Armstrong all the way down, cut off by McCants. Armstrong bounced it off his foot. It'll be out of bounds to Purdue with 4:09 to play.
That's unbelievable how the Hawkeyes turned the ball over. I don't know how they've won as many ball games as they have with the kind of ball handling that they exhibit in the game.
Mitchell gets into the forecourt, gives it back to Troy Lewis near the timeline. 4 minutes to play. Lewis, jump shot, no, tipped up and in. The tip in is by Lee. Lee, 66-57, just a little cushion.
Well, I tell you, that was a big one for Lee to knock that one in.
Here is a 3-point try, missed by Gamble, and Lewis got the long rebound. 3:35 to play. Everett Stevens playing with 4 fouls. Moe gives it a walking violation. So the ball will be out of bounds to the Iowa Hawkeyes. Moe, a rugged young man from Indianapolis, played at Brebeuf High School.
Boy, he's a great competitor, too. He comes into the lineup, and he really brings the Hawkeye fans as well as the team up and gets them ready to go.
A timeout has been called by Purdue, stopping the clock with 3:30 left. 3:30. You are watching Purdue basketball on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. Purdue leads Iowa 66-57.
Everybody knows how to do that kick. Health kick. Yeah. Whoa. The goodness of milk is a real health kick. Health kick. Yeah, milk. Pour a glass of milk real tall, getting calcium and vitamins and loving it all. Looking good. Well, come on, everybody, milk's that kick. Health kick, do that kick. Come on, everybody, do that kick. America's favorite health kick. For oil, for a lube, and for servicing all the fluids in your car, the Quick Oil Lube has what you need, and we're never very far. Let the Quick Hop do it. Let the Quick Hop do it. We know how to do it. The Quick Oil Lube. Let us help you take care of your car.
We feature Quaker State products and filters.
We're delighted to have you along the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network for Big Ten basketball. Purdue leads Iowa 66-57. We have 3 minutes and 30 seconds to play in this basketball game regulation time. Purdue has 1 timeout left. It's Iowa's basketball. Melvin McCants has had a superlative game here tonight. 16 points, lots of rebounds. Mo from 3. No. Battle for the rebound. Taken off there by the Hawks. And it'll be Gamble throws it up. And Gamble gets his first basket of the night. 66-59. Purdue. Purdue having trouble getting the ball in, but now Everett Stevens is double teamed. He throws it to Lewis, and Purdue throws it away. 17 turnovers. Armstrong, short jumper, no good. Battle for the rebound taken by Wright. He throws it up and in. First basket. He has 5. And it is 66-61. Purdue gets it inbounds. Everett Stevens through the traffic. 2:40 to play. Lee gives it down to McCants. Here's a foul. It'll be on Gamble, his second. 8 on the team. Lee will go to the line. He was 1 out of 2 just a few seconds ago. 2 out of 3 tonight.
And the Hawkeyes were able to get Purdue into that hurry up, let's get the ball down the court situation. When they threw it away, was plenty of time left in the 10-second count, and Everett just got concerned a little quickly and made the long pass that wouldn't go. Free throws are going to be the tailing tale in this ball game.
Lee, the senior, co-captain for Purdue at the line. 9 points for him. Purdue is 7 of 14. Purdue leads 67-61. Purdue trying to move back within 1 game of Indiana. Here is Lee looking for his 10th point of the night, and he got it. And Purdue is 8 of 15 and leading by 7. Illinois has won over Minnesota 79-67. All the way down, shot is missed, and Wright is over the back with a foul. His second. 79 for Illinois, 67 for Minnesota. Purdue plays at Minnesota next. Illinois plays here Saturday.
Well, it doesn't get easy for anybody. As you take a look at the schedule running down the last part of the year, all the major teams in terms of fighting for the championship are going to be playing each other, and it's going to be a real battle to see who the Big Ten champ is.
2:31 to play. Mitchell with only 4 points, all in the second half, 2 out of 2 at the free throw line. He has his 5th point of the night, and that was a big one, giving Purdue an 8-point lead. Boilermakers have never trailed. Todd Mitchell with 2 big free throws, 6 points on the night. 9-point lead, 2:27 left in the game. Here is Gary Wright, goes through, throws it up, no, short, and is pulled down by McCants. Another great play. Watch from behind there for Everett Stevens. Troy Lewis with it, 2:10 left to play. Mitchell underneath the McCants, throws it up. No! Loose ball, and McCants got it. I don't believe it. McCants has charged his second foul. I don't understand that one.
Well, the thing that's bad about that is the official under the basket is standing right on top of the play. He swallowed the whistle. The guy 35 feet out on the floor makes the call. Not a bad call. McCants grabbed his arm. Lohaus grabbed his arm, too. It could have gone either way. The thing that bothers you is the guy right on the plate doesn't make the call.
So with 2:05 to play and Purdue's lead 9, Lohaus will go to the line. He has 12, 7 in the second half. He's 1 of 2 at the free throw line.
You don't want to put the Hawkeyes up there with the clock not running.
Nope.
You want that clock to run. Don't give him a chance to score with it quiet.
7-foot senior makes his 13th point of the night. Hawks are 11 of 18 now. 70-62 Purdue.
Can't turn the ball over here. Got to just be patient, get the ball down to the court.
Use of 45 seconds. 14 for him. 70-63. Use plenty of time. Protect the basketball. Ooh, they didn't see Troy Lewis, and he almost went to McCants, but with less than 2 now, here's an intentional foul. Oh, it ought to be. Come on, hold your fingers up, official.
Boy, he really whacked him, reached around the back and hit him hard.
And they only give him 1 and 1. So we'll go to the line, and Everett Stevens has been there once tonight, didn't make it, but he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 5 from three-point range and 19 points.
I think Iowa's going to force Purdue to win this ball game from the line.
There's the 20th point of the night for Everett Stevens. His best game this year has been 22. Boilermakers lead by 8. Stevens makes them both. Purdue leads 72-63, 1:53 to play. Armstrong all the way down, throws it up there, no. Battle for the rebound. Wright comes off, throws it up there, no. Battle for the rebound. Who's going to get it? Everett Stevens gets it. And Purdue's Lee comes up. He throws it along here. Purdue ought to get a gimme and a goaltend. Lewis gets the basket, his first in the second half. He's only taken 3 shots after getting 15 in the first half, and the Boilermakers now lead by 11 with 1:35 to play. Here's a pass underneath the right. Here is Moe getting Lewis off his feet and goes for a three-pointer. That's his second of the night, and the Hawkeyes call a timeout. That cuts the lead 74-66 with a timeout with 1:27 to play. Jeff Moe with his second three-pointer. Well, a timeout. You're watching Purdue basketball on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. Purdue leads Iowa 74-66.
It's not a body shop. It's a chop shop, where stolen cars are stripped of their parts. You can help deter auto thieves by supporting stricter licensing and titling laws, insisting on tougher jail sentences for car thieves, and by etching your vehicle identification number on the windshield of your car. Your Farm Bureau insurance agent can help. We gotta shut them down before they clean up.
Well, Jeff Moe just made his second three-pointer of the night, giving him 13. Brad Lohaus is the leading scorer for the Hawks tonight. His average is 11 plus. He has 14. Roy Marble fouled out with 4:20 with 11. Ed Horton has 10. Gamble has a basket for 2. The same for Lorenzen. Armstrong has 8. Gary Wright has 5. On the other side, Everett Stevens has 21, just 1 shy of his career best. Lewis has 17. McCants has 16. Mitchell has 6. Arnold has 4. Lee has 10. That's the scoring. And Purdue will have the basketball in its backcourt. The lead is 74-66. We have 1:27 to play in this one. Boy, it's been a struggle. This is a very key possession for Purdue. They cannot, I don't think they can give this one up. It comes into Lewis, and he's fouled, and it'll be on Moe, his second. No time run off the clock. Well, maybe a second.
They can't afford to have the clock running, Joe. If the Boilermakers bring it down and take 45 seconds off of it, Hawkeyes would have a tough time getting back in it. They're going to try to trade 3 points for 2 or hope maybe Lewis misses his shot.
You know, Purdue was 5 of 12. They have now made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 free throws in a row. And the lead is 74-66. Lewis is at the line. He's missed his only 2 free throw attempts tonight. And misses again. And the Hawks have the basketball with 1:20. Here is Gamble. No basket. A foul is going to be called, and it'll be on Lee. Lee, 1-1, says the official. And 1:18 left to play.
I've got nothing on my scorecard for Gamble, who's going to the line in terms of scoring.
He has a basket.
He has a basket. Well, he's probably the guy that they want up there. He hasn't been real active offensively. He's done a good job on the backboard.
12 of 19 for the Hawks at the line. 13 of 20. Purdue is 12 of 20. 74-67. Purdue, 1:18 to play. Gamble shoots 70% at the stripe. 1 out of 1 this evening. That one looked weak for a while, but it fell in there. 14 out of 21. Now it's a 6-point game. Here is a pass down to Everett Stevens. Make this one good. And he has his best game as a Purdue Boilermaker with 23. And the Boilermakers lead 76-68. We have some kind of a situation. An eye problem with Lohaus, is it? And the ball will be out of bounds here at midcourt.
I think the Hawkeyes lost about 2 or 3 seconds that time. I'm surprised that Tom Davis is not up complaining about that.
Everett Stevens with his best game, 5 of 5 from three-point range, 23 overall. B.J. Armstrong, it is deflected away, and McCants got it. Oith, and Purdue almost throws it away. Troy Lewis goes at the ball. Great play by Troy to flip the ball to Mitchell. Back out to Everett Stevens with 55 seconds to play. Here's a pass inside to McCants. It comes back out to Lee. Cross court to Lewis with 30 seconds on the shot clock. We got a foul. It'll be on Moe, his third, and Purdue will go to the line with 49 seconds to play and the lead of 76-68.
Boilermakers looking pretty good now. These free throws are still key because they can come down and get a three-pointer, and the points go in a hurry. Troy has missed his last 3. Normally,
all 3 that he's had tonight.
Tremendous free throw shooter. Things are just not quite right when he steps up there.
Purdue's best free throw shooter on the year, 81%. And he makes this one. He has 18 points. And Purdue unofficially 13 out of 21. That was a big one right there, Bob. 18 points for Troy, 15 of them in the first half. Misses again. Moe got it. 45 seconds to play. Moe all the way down. Throws it up. No. Blocking foul is going to... No offense on Moe. Offensive foul on Moe. He's got 4. And Purdue will get the ball out of bounds, I believe.
Well, you can just really see the fire still in Mel McCants' eyes. He is really excited about the way he's playing here tonight. Again, he's the man making the play. He stood his ground, and Moe went right over the top.
Now we got a substitution, and here's Tim Fisher going to come in. It's protection time now and free throw shooting time, and McCants goes out. Here's the ball inbounds to Mitchell. And we're going to have a foul on Lohaus. It'll be his third. It'll be a 1-and-1 for Mitchell, and Mitchell is 4 out of 4 at the line tonight.
Done a good job in the second half and has really been a tiger on the board. Remember the stuff he had a few minutes ago. Tom Davis talking to Jeff Moe, trying to get the last second information in there to see if his club can't get back in this ball game, but it looks pretty bleak for the Hawkeyes at the moment.
Mitchell at the line, 6 points tonight, all in the second half. Missed it again. 35 seconds. Reeves, Lohaus, three-point range. No. Lee rebounds. Lee coming out of the traffic. 27 seconds. Ball knocked away. Saved great by Lee. Here is Mitchell. Stuffs it in, and you can put this one away. Mitchell has 8, and the Boilermakers lead by 11 with 15 seconds to play. Purdue's going to be all alone. Here's the pass inside, and they give it to number 24, Morgan, and the Hawks call timeout with 9, and that stops the clock 79-70. 9 seconds left to play. The Hawks want to play. They don't want to take any conversation. They just wanted to make sure that they stop that clock. Oh, man.
Still some time left. Three-pointers can get you back, although it'd be tough to get 3 of them in 9 seconds.
Just throw it in, right? Here's the ball into Fisher, and he was bumped from behind. And the foul is on Morgan, who just got the basket a while ago. And Fisher will go to the line, shoot 73%, 11 of 15. Hadn't done anything yet tonight, just played the last few seconds.
Well, the crowd here at Carver-Hawkeye Arena has left the Hawkeyes to finish this one out alone. The place was packed a few minutes ago, and now there's more empty seats than there are filled ones. So the Hawkeyes been playing pretty well all year long here tonight against Purdue. The Boilermakers came out ready to play. It's what Gene Katie's been looking for. Troy Lewis goes out.
He goes out with 18.
Boy, he had a great first half of play, and he was key in keeping the Boilermakers in that lead in the first half. It didn't do much in the second half, but his teammates took over.
Here is Fisher at the line for the first time tonight. Drops it in, got the bounce. First point of the night, and Purdue is 14 out of 24 unofficially. And the lead is 10, biggest of the matching. I guess it was 11 once before. Here is a three-point try, and it is good at the buzzer, but the Boilermakers win it The Boilermakers win it by a score of 80-73, and Purdue is alone in second place, a game behind Indiana. We'll continue our post-game show after we hear from our local stations. This is the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network.
Now you can get up to $1,200 cash back during the Great Olds Cash Back Option Sale. Get as much as $1,200 cash direct from Oldsmobile on a new Calais, Cutlass Sierra, Delta 88, or Cutlass Supreme. Add a popular option package, and you could save a total of as much as $1,675. The more you get, the more you save. Now, big savings and up to $1,200 cash back direct from Oldsmobile. All during the Great Olds Cash Back Option Sale.
Remember, additional savings during our February tax time sale.
Thanks for coming.
You bet. Well, what do you think?
I don't know. What do you think?
I wouldn't mind saving a little money on herbicide.
Me neither. It's cheaper than dual or lasso.
Performance sounds pretty good, too.
Yeah, what do you make of that guarantee?
I want it to work. That's the best guarantee.
I know, but I mean, it sounds like this is one company that's going to stand behind their product.
You think so?
One luxury car has taken Indianapolis by storm, outselling its nearest competitor 2-1, and the foreign competition 2-1. The #1 selling luxury car in the state, Cadillac. And now take advantage of rock-bottom prices during the inventory reduction sale. Lockhart Cadillac and Tutwiler Cadillac must sell all cars in stock before March 1st, so they're offering great savings on all models. See your Indianapolis Cadillac dealers today.
The Purdue Boilermakers scored the first 2 baskets of this basketball game, never trailed in the game, though the lead was down after being up by as many as 7 on a number of occasions, down to 1, 32-31. Purdue led by 4 at halftime, 39-35, built up an 11-point lead on 2 occasions, 74-63 and 79-68. They win it by a score of 80-73 on the best game ever for Everett Stevens with 23, and I would say Melvin McCant's outstanding performance in all aspects of the game with 16. Lewis had 18, Mitchell had 8, Lee had 10, Fisher had 1, and Arnold had 4.
It's a great effort by Purdue, and I think, Joe, when you get down and look at the statistics, the rebounding inside in the second half, especially by Mel McCants, is going to be one of the keys.
Any reproduction of this telecast is strictly forbidden without the written permission of Farm Bureau Insurance, which also has the approval of the announcers used in the telecast. Purdue is alone in second place in the Big Ten, 1 game behind Indiana. Speaking of Indiana, that'll be our next telecast on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. It'll be 2 weeks from tonight. Now, this is Joe Pate with Bob Ford, speaking from Iowa City, inviting you to join us for our next Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball telecast when Indiana and Purdue meet at Mackey Arena on Thursday night, February 26th. Until then, good night from Iowa City.
You've been watching Purdue University basketball, brought to you for the 15th consecutive year by Farm Bureau Insurance and its nearly 700 agents located throughout the state of Indiana, and in part by Milk Promotion Services of Indiana and your local Indiana dairy farmer. This is the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network.